Funny how life isn't always as black and white as you'd like it to be. Sometimes good news can turn out to be bad news, and bad news good news, depending on how you look at it. And that's the way it was for me with this 3 into 4 case.
Don't bother knocking. The door is always open.
I'd been expecting somebody like her would turn up one day and turn my world upside down.
Didn't think the paper would run with this. Must be some sort of dummy copy or something.
There was only one dummy in the room at that moment, and I wasn't the one looking at it. It was the blueprint for a merger, a syndicate of 3 planning to become 4. The guy that seemed to be making all the waves was called Johnny Dollar Bills. I couldn't help myself echoing his name.
Johnny Dollar Bills. Yep. Well, I've certainly come across him.
But I was wary until she offered to treble my fee, and then I got scared.
Look, to hell with the money. What am I getting myself into here?
We're talking syndication, and she said she was working for the rival Janetson mob, and they had a little expansion of their own in mind and wanted to know Johnny Dollar's weak spots. If I wasn't careful, I was the one who could end up being expanded all along the M62.
Right, so you want me to find the dirt.
Well, it was time to say hi to friends in low places.
Newlywed a year ago, we were just still checking each other out. Hey.
My low friends told me things had moved on since Johnny took on the operation. He'd been a busy boy, and now I knew why. There was a new dame in his life, Roz. Only Roz weren't no ordinary dame. Roz was Johnny's queen bee. And boy, did she have expensive tastes.
I have got some great news for you. Johnny Dollar doesn't have any weak spots. The syndicate of 3 is doing really well. It's getting stronger in the market, it's got great relationships with its customers, it's joining in better with the rest of the company, and it keeps a really keen eye on the cash rolling in. What more could you want?
But she wasn't impressed. She wanted negatives. Like, why were they still so big on management, hadn't expanded the syndicate, and didn't work more as a family? I was mystified. Dollar was looking like a good prospect to me. Bad news would have been good news for her, so that meant bad news for me. I wasn't coming up with a negative she wanted and was running out of options fast. The only good news for me was that I'd finally remembered where I'd filed some other kind of negatives I had on Johnny. Whatever else he was planning, that meant bad news for him. And then, suddenly, it hit me. The dame was playing me for a sucker. She said she worked for the rival Janetson syndicate, but they'd never heard of her. I should have clicked with the dummy copy.
Hi, yeah, I want to speak to Johnny Dollar Bills. You can tell him it's Sam Hart, he will take my call, and you can also tell him that I have got his negatives.
Johnny confirmed my suspicions. He was in cahoots with the dame all along. And that's how she got the dummy copy of my ad. The pair of them playing me like 2 hands on a piano to see if I could find their weak spots before the competition did. I found the negatives all right, but they weren't quite the ones they were looking for. The picture was clear. All it took to keep me quiet was a handful of cash and a one-way ticket to Palookaville.
I've been suckered, all right. Why is it always by day? Still, things ain't so bad.